how the mediation process works. And Bill, if you'll talk some
Sure.
about that.
There's first, there's a misconception in the legal community, and I think in the public, that mediation is something that always is done through attorneys. That attorneys go out and hire the mediator for you. There is nothing that would preclude, and certainly I would encourage parties that are close enough in an agreement to seek out a mediator first. You could sit down with a mediator, hash out the details, and then go to an attorney and have them draw up what you've mediated. But to answer your question, generally what we see is that either the court has ordered or a motion has been filed asking for mediation, or the attorneys have agreed to it because they think the case is well suited for it. The parties come in. There are two ways that we can run it. Generally, we can separate the parties where we do a room-to-room, where we go back and forth, or if the parties work well together, we can put everybody in the same room. Personally, I like to have everybody in the same room because I think it encourages some honesty and it encourages the parties to actually work together a little better, but sometimes that's not possible. As a mediator, your job really isn't to tell them I don't have a gavel. I mean, I'm not going to order this is what you're going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm not attached to the situation. I'm not personally invested. I'm not emotional about it. I can give the parties some alternatives that possibly they haven't thought of. Maybe I can tell somebody through my experience how I think a court would rule on their particular matter, and probably what's most beneficial is we do a cost-benefit analysis with the parties. If you settle today, this is where we stand. If you go forward, this is how much you're probably going to spend to go forward. And a lot of times when you do that, the parties can see that even if they were to go forward, with the money that they'd spend in attorneys and the time that it would take to get on the docket, a lot of times they'd be better off settling for a little less. They would spend whatever they would gain in a court setting litigating it. Parties, when they get together, especially when there were kids involved, if they have the child's best interest in mind, generally they can come together and form an agreement.